All right, so today we're going to be talking a little bit more about dividing by fractions, specifically coming up with some strategies to effectively just kind of look at the numbers behind dividing by fractions. We've already explored a little bit this idea of the difference between um, half of 3 and this idea that it would be like 1.5. This would be 1, that would be a half. So half of 3, meaning something different than actually dividing truly by the fraction itself, which is to say to take 3 and divide it into halves. That was kind of our conversation last week, revolved around this idea of thinking of division in terms of how many of these fit inside of our original amount. So these don't look like pies because I have a square here, so maybe some cakes. And we want to divide the cakes into halves. I could say, all right, how many am I looking at here? I got a half, a half, a half, a half. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. My answer is 6. Beautiful picture, beautiful illustration, beautiful model. And some people were even starting to identify that, like, all right, I've got my 3 kind of groups, and each group is going to have 2 in there. So it looks a lot like 3 times 2, or 3 groups of 2. That's not a coincidence. That's, in fact, exactly what we're looking for. All right, so let's kind of put that to the test. And several of us have, or several people noted that idea of like, yeah, it's really going to be about this 4 and this 3, right? Because essentially, if I'm dividing things into thirds, and I don't want to draw this up every time, but I know there's going to be 3, and how many of them will there be? Well, there's 4 of them, so it's going to be 3 times 4, and that equals 12. And if I finish my model, I prove that to be correct. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I took 4 and I divided it into thirds, it is in fact the same as, and I'm actually going to fix this while we talk about it, because when we do division, order really matters. So I want to make sure that even though it doesn't change my answer, I'm representing that it's the same 4, and instead of dividing by 1/3, it's the same as multiplying by 3. Beautiful. Okay, well, this is a pretty sound strategy and a good place to start. However, it isn't always as just simple as saying, well, take the two numbers you got and multiply them together, and boom, there's your answer. Because, as we found last time, there are some little complications to this. So that might look like, let's say I'm taking my original 4, and instead of just saying 4 times 3, that's 12, I'm good to go. That really only works if your numerator is 1. So in my new problem, I'm going to do 4 divided into 2/3. Um, Again, I think this is powerful. This 12 is important, but with the new numerator in here, it changes things. So what does it do? Well, again, to know why this happens, I'm going to show we know 12 thirds. And we want to say, all right, so I've got 4 times 3, and I've got the 12 thirds part down pat. That's going to be 12. But now that I'm grouping them by a different amount, I want to say, well, how many groups of them do I have? I got 1, I got 2, I got 3, I got 4, I got 5, I got 6. And so the fact that I'm cutting this in half and saying, well, I had 12 total thirds. Oops, there's my highlighter. I had my 12 total thirds, and I'm cutting them in half, is because those groups are groups of 2. I actually am taking that 2 and converting it, moving it kind of down to the bottom here. I'm remembering that I'm going to say, yeah, 4 times 3, all well and good. But then I'm also going to divide it by 2. Why am I dividing by 2? It's because the groups have 2 in them. If you have a certain amount of things and then you give everyone 3 of something, you divide the total by 3 because you're putting them in groups of 3. In this instance, they're groups of 2. So I got to take the total, 12, and divide it by 2. That's where my 6 comes in. So now that we know why this works, I want to talk a little bit about what that strategy looks like somewhat more efficiently. Well, I'm keeping my 3 because I have 3 of whatever they are, cakes, pies, who knows, but I have 3 of them. And I know I'm going to be multiplying times this denominator because that's how many groups I have. But at the same time, I'm then going to divide that by 3. And an efficient and effective way to divide something by 3 is with a fraction. So, kind of an easy way, or a way that popularly gets described, is that when I change this operation from division to multiplication, I take this fraction and I flip it upside down. And we have a strategy for doing multiplying by fractions. We know that this is just going to be 12 thirds, right? Because this is the thing we're going to multiply now, and then the denominator stays the same. It is, in fact, 4. That's true. And we've done this exact example where we say, all right, how many groups of 3/4 do I get? Well, I could kind of have one group for each one of these guys, and then each of those would have a fourth left over. And combining those, that would leave me with my fourth one. There's my 4. All right. So 4 divided by 1/4, I'm sorry, 5 divided by 1/4, I'm going to keep the 5. I'm now going to be multiplying by 4 because I'm dividing it into this so many sections. It means I have 20 sections. And in this one, I'm dividing by 1. It is just 4. And that's because I'm not putting those sections into tiny groups like you would have seen up here where I was counting groups of 3. I'm just saying, how many sections are there? There's 20 sections. 5 times 4 is 20. Divided by 1 still leaves you with 20. The answer is, in fact, 20. Last one down here at the bottom. 6 times 3 means there's going to be 18 little groups, and I want 2 in each one of those groups. So I'm going to divide those 18 by 2. 6 times 3 is 18, divided by 2 gives me 9. Now, they don't always line up as whole numbers. I happen to pick instances where they line up as whole numbers, but we have done enough work with this that we know that sometimes we end up with a fractional amount here. We end up with an improper fraction as an answer. The same strategy and everything about it holds true. Sometimes you have one left over and an extra little amount. Let's say it was 19 divided by 2 at the end. Yeah, we know it's 9.5. We can take those improper fractions and still work with them because of that. All right, let's put that to the test. And I am going to show my model here because while having some random set of directions to follow and be like, ooh, that gives me the answer, is great, it isn't actually helpful unless you understand what's going on or why it works. So yeah, flip it upside down and multiply it. That's a great tool to have, but if we don't know why that works or what's going on when we do that, how would we ever know when to apply that strategy? So I am going to draw it out. We know that first thing I want to do is take my 5 and divide it into thirds. And then I want to say how many groups of 2, that's what this is saying, groups of 2/3 do I get? Well, I got 1, I got 2, I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I got this one left over. And we've talked about this in the past, that one that's left over, it seems like it's a 1/3, but 1/3 is actually half of 2/3, right? If this is what 1 looks like, then this thing on the right, far right-hand side is actually half of that. So let's see if the strategy holds up. 5, I don't want to use my highlighter anymore. 5 divided by 2/3 is going to give me 15, 3 times 5, 15 total that I would then cut in half because I want groups of 2. 15 halves is the same as 7 and 1/2, just like my model showed us. All right, so this is kind of what we're going to be practicing, is this conversion of saying, all right, when I make the operation an opposite, I'm going to take the divisor, what I'm dividing it groups into, and you actually transpose the numbers. You flip them upside down. I would point out here, it becomes really important that we're focusing on that second number. I can't just flip the 5 upside down into 1/5 and have it still get me an answer. So unlike when we were multiplying and I knew that 1/4, let's say, of 2/3 is the same as 2/3 of 1/4. Yes, that's a weird multiplication symbol. Yes, that's true. But if I were dividing and kind of doing this flipperoo, that doesn't stay true anymore. So we do want to pay attention to order when we're doing division.